Shalom, everybody. How's it going?
Hey,
Welcome to Cover with Jeremy Pyers.
Callan Pyers.
Alright, so
so
today's part 9 of our
I'm going
reading.
to tell you the thing before I say something else. Alright, so
Come on, hurry.
this is me, Callan. This is me. That's my dad. So open your ears, eyes, nose, and listen to about my dad. Reese that really loves you. So let's begin.
Alright, please don't interrupt next time. Alright, so part 9 of our reading today. We've only got one more part after this. Is my co-host. So, yeah, so part 9. Welcome Renee, welcome Alyssa. Shalom to both of you. So after this we got one more section, then we'll be getting into Daniel and then Revelation. As I said before, I believe they're very important books in these end times that we're living in. And on another note, since my new job, I'll be moving the live stream to Sunday evenings. So it just works out a lot better. It was kind of hectic trying to get everything organized after getting off a long day at work. So I think Sunday's good at work pretty good. Alright, so we'll jump right into the reading then here. Come on, pop up. Pop up. These are some of the difficulties I was having earlier. Give me just a second. Why is it not? Ugh. Hold on one second. Let me figure this out here. I had this worked out right before we started. And then of course.
Yeah. Sorry.
Of course.
Yeah, sorry.
Why is it not even showing on this? Come on.
Yeah, sorry. When we just started, it was perfect, but now it's not. Just hang on. We'll get there soon.
Apologies here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, come
sorry.
on. It's not doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
Okay.
Alright, now you got.
Let's see. We're just gonna do this. I know it looks a little wonky. Hold on, give me just a moment. Alright. Kind of having to do things on the fly. Is it capturing it? Oh, it's not capturing it even. There it is, yeah. Alright. Alright, apologies for the technical difficulties. So, another difficulty, we're going to have to read one page out of the copy I have because for some reason it would not load. Some problems. I know. Forgive me. Alright, so we'll continue here. And so off at 39 and we're continuing on 40 here. And after these events, it came to be that the cupbearer and the baker of the sovereign of Mitzrayim sinned against their master, the sovereign of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh was wroth with his 2 officers, and the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. So he put them in confinement in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison, the place where Joseph was a prisoner. And the captain of the guard put Yosef in charge of them, and he served them. So they were in confinement for some time. Then the cupbearer and the bearer of the and baker of the sovereign of Mitzrayim, who were confined in the prison, dreamed a dream, both of them, each man's dream, in one night, and each man's dream with its own interpretation. Make sure, okay. Ooh, this one came out blurry. My apologies. And Yosef came into them in the morning, and looked at them, and saw that they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers, who were with him in confinement of his master's house, saying, Why do you look so sad today? And they said to him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no one to interpret it. And Yosef said to them, Do not interpretations belong to Elohim? Relate them to me, please. So the chief cupbearer related his dream to Yosef, and said to him, See, in my dream a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded. Its blossoms shot forth, and its clusters brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. So I took the grapes, and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. And Yosef said to him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet, within 3 days, Pharaoh is going to lift up your head, and restore you to your place. And you shall put Pharaoh's cup in according to the former ruling, when you were his cupbearer. But remember me, when it is well with you, and please show kindness to me, and mention me to Pharaoh, and get me out of this house. For truly I was stolen away from the land of Ibrim, and also I have done naught that they should put me in the dungeon. And the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, and he said to Yosef, I also was in my dream, and saw 3 white baskets were on my head, and in the uppermost basket all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head. And Yosef answered, and said, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 baskets are 3 days, yet within 3 days Pharaoh is going to lift off your head from you, and hang you on a tree, and the birds shall eat your flesh from you. And on the 3rd day, Pharaoh's birthday, it came to be that he made a feast for all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker among his servants, and he restored the chief cupbearer to his post of cupbearer again. And he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand, but he hanged the chief baker, as Yosef had interpreted to him. And the chief cupbearer did not remember Yosef, but forgot him. Just kind of double check things. Is this going? I hope you guys can see me and hear me okay. YouTube's always funny. Hold on one sec, let me just see. Hold on here. Let's see. Let me try one more thing. Can you guys hear me at all on here? Okay. I got a message that it wasn't playing. It's playing. Now I gotta echo. Okay. I always have this weird message like this. Let me just double check again. Apologies for the difficulties today. Okay, it's working. Alright. I just had to make sure. Alright. Okay. Alright, thank you, Alyssa. Alright, let me continue. So, 41. And it came to be, at the end of 2 years' time, that Pharaoh had a dream, and saw him standing by the river, and saw 7 cows coming out of the river, fine looking and fat, and they fed amongst the reeds. Then saw 7 other cows coming up after them out of the river, ugly and lean of flesh, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and lean of flesh cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. Then Pharaoh awoke and slept and had a dream. Slept and dreamed a second time, and saw 7 heads of grain coming up, one stalk, plump and good. 1 second. And saw 7 heads scorched by the east wind, coming up after them. And 7 lean heads swallowed the 7 plump and complete heads. Then Pharaoh awoke and saw it was a dream. And it came to be in the morning that his spirit was moved, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Mitzrayim and all its wise men. And Pharaoh related to them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my crimes this day, when Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in confinement in the house of the captain of the guard, both me and the chief baker. Each one of us, dreamed a dream in one night, and he and I, each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. And there was with us an Hebrew youth, a servant of the captain of the guard, and we related to him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. And it came to be, as he interpreted for us, so it came to be. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they hurried, brought him out of the dungeon. And he shaved and changed his garments, and came to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one to interpret it. Now I myself have heard it said of you, that you understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me, Let Elohim answer Pharaoh with peace. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, See, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river, and saw 7 cows coming up out of the river, fine looking and fat, and they fed amongst the reeds. Then saw 7 other cows coming up after them, poor and very ugly, and lean of flesh, such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the lean of flesh and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. Yet when they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were as ugly as at the beginning. And then I awoke. Also, I looked in my dream, and saw 7 heads coming up one stalk, complete and good. Then saw 7 heads withered and lean, scorched by the east wind, coming up after them. And the lean heads swallowed up the 7 good heads. And I spoke to the magicians, but there was no one who could. And Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. It is one dream. And the 7 lean and ugly cows, which came up after them, are 7 years. And the 7 empty heads scorched by the east wind, scarcity of food. This is the word which I spoke to Pharaoh. Elohim has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. See, 7 years of great plenty are coming in all the land of Mitzrayim. But after 7 years of scarcity of food, still streaming. Ay, so many difficulties. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint overseers over the land, to take up 1/5 of the land of Mitzrayim, in the 7 years of plenty. Let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And the food shall be for a store for the land, for the 7 years of scarcity of food, which shall be in the land of Mitzrayim. And do not let the land be cut off by scarcity of food. And the word was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, Could we find another like him, a man who is the Ruach Elohim? The Pharaoh said to Joseph, this is it. Okay, it's after this page that, this next page after this didn't load, but the ones after that did. Very weird. Anyway, since Elohim has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. Be over my house, you yourself, and at your word all my people shall be equipped. Only in the throne I am greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, See, I have appointed you over all the land of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh took his seal ring off his hand, and put it on Joseph's hand. And he dressed him in garments of fine linen, and put a gold chain. And he had him ride in the 2nd chariot which he had. And they cried out before him, Bow the knee. And he appointed him over all the lands of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without you let no man lift his hand or foot in all the land of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Sephanath Paneah. And he gave him as a wife Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Mitzrayim. Now Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Mitzrayim. And in the 7 years of plenty, the ground brought forth generously, And he gathered all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Mitzrayim. And he laid up the food in the cities, and he laid up every city in the food of the field which surrounded them. Thus Joseph gathered, excuse me, hold on. Thus Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he ceased counting, for it was without number. And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of scarcity of food came. Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for Elohim has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. Ephraim, for Elohim has caused me to bear fruit in the land of my affliction. And 7 years of plenty, which were in the land of Mitzrayim, came to an end. And 7 years of scarcity of food began to come, as Joseph had said, and the scarcity of food was in all the lands, but in all the lands of Mitzrayim there was bread. But when all the land of Mitzrayim hungered, and when the people cried to Pharaoh for bread, Pharaoh said to all the Mitzrayites, "Go to Joseph, do whatever he tells you to. Do whatever he says to you." And the scarcity of food was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Mitzrayites. And the scarcity of food was severe in the land of Mitzrayim. And all the earth came to Joseph in Mitzrayim to buy grain, because the scarcity of food was severe in all the earth. Alright, so sorry about the difficulties here, everybody. I don't know what's up. Right before this, I fixed everything. It seemed to be running. As soon as I go live, problems. My apologies. Seems to be running okay. We'll see. Alright. So, we'll continue here. I believe this next page, let me just double check actually. Yep. So, after this, let me actually open up to it. Just gotta read one page that didn't go through. Okay. And when Jacob saw that there was grain in Mitzrayim, Jacob said to his sons, "Why do you look at each other?" And he said, "See, I have heard that there is grain in Mitzrayim. Go down to that place, and buy for us there, and let us live and not die." And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain in Mitzrayim. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin, with his brothers, for he said, "Lest some harm come to him." And the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the scarcity of food was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over all the land. He was the one who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brother came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them. But he acted as a stranger to them and spoke to them harshly, and said to them, "Where do you come from?" And they said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." So Joseph recognized his brothers, not recognize him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed about them, and said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land." And they said to him, No, my master, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's sons, and we are trustworthy. Your servants are not spies. But he said to them, No, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land. And they said, Your servants, your servants are 12 brothers, the sons of one man, in the land of Canaan. And see, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more. And Joseph said to them, It is as I spoke to you, saying, You are spies. By this you shall be proven, by the life of Pharaoh. You do not leave this place, unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you, and let him bring your brother, who are kept in prison. So let your word see whether there is any truth in you, or else, by the life of Pharaoh, you are spies. And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. Now Joseph said to them the third day, Do this and live, for I revere Elohim. If you are trustworthy, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house. And you go, bring grain for the sanctuary of food for your houses. And bring your youngest brother to me, and let your words be confirmed. And you do not, and you do not die. And so they did. And they said to each other, Truly, we are guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the distress of his life when he pleaded with us. Yet we did not listen. That is why this distress has come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Did I not speak to you, saying, Do not sin against the boy? And you would not listen. And see, his blood is now required of us. And they did not know that Joseph understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. And he turned himself away from them and wept, but came back to them and spoke to them. And he took Shimeon from them and bound him before their eyes. And Joseph commanded, and they filled their sacks with grain. Also to put back every man's silver in his sack, and to give them food for the journey. And thus it was done for them. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain, and went from there. And as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw a silver there. It was in the mouth of his sack. And he said to his brothers, My silver has been returned, and there it is in my sack. And their hearts sank, and they were afraid, saying to each other, What is this that Elohim has done to us? So they came to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan, and reported to him all that befell them, saying, The man, the master of the land, spoke to us harshly, and took us for spies of the land. But we said to him, We are trustworthy, and we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, the sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest today is with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man and the master of the land said to us, By this I know you are trustworthy. Goodness, lots of problems. Alright, let me try to finish up these last couple chapters here. I don't know what the deal is. My apologies. You know what? We're gonna stop right here at 43, and we'll do that last section next week. There's just so many problems at the moment. I don't even know. Yeah, I think we'll just stop it right here for now. There's just too many problems going on for some reason. My apologies. Don't know what the deal is. I thought I had them all fixed. It still shows it's buffering on my end, but everything else says it's good. Wow. The enemy fights hard. The enemy fights hard. Never give up. Never give up. Anyways, I think we're just gonna end it right there for now because all the difficulties. My first week at my new job was pretty amazing. It's awesome. I love it there. Way better than my old job. Yeah, I'm working with Torah brothers. I don't have like 20 different bosses telling me 20 different things to do, as well as dealing with customer after customer, one after the next, and they're not nice over there. But my new job, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Alyssa. I don't know. I pray to Yahweh, so. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading tonight. Don't forget, Sunday will be my new live stream day, Sunday evenings. Tune in next week. I've already got it up there. So, with having a day off, I can fix issues before I go live, instead of getting home tired from work and then rushing to try to do everything. But it's good. It's good. Anyways, thank you all. I'm kind of exhausted from work. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell to get notifications for when I do go live. And we will see you soon, Mishpacha. Shalom, and thanks for watching.